your backhand is weak. And it's not because backhands are hard. It's not because you don't practice enough. It's because of 5 specific things you're doing, or not doing, every single time that ball comes to your left side. And the worst part is that most of them are invisible while they're happening. You don't feel them. You just feel the result, which is a soft, tentative, going-nowhere shot that your opponent has been targeting all match because they figured out your backhand before you did. Every single one of these 5 things is fixable. Not over years, over weeks if you work on the right things. Here's exactly what's wrong and exactly how to fix it. 1. You're running around it instead of fixing it. Let's start with the most honest one, and it's the one that's been quietly making your backhand worse for longer than you realize. Every time a ball comes to your backhand and you take that extra step to roll around it and hit a forehand instead, you're making a decision. It feels like a smart decision in the moment. You trust your forehand. You don't trust your backhand, so you use the one you trust. Makes sense. Except what you're actually doing is training 2 things simultaneously. Your forehand is getting a repetition, and your fear of the backhand is getting reinforced. Every single time you avoid it, your brain files another entry under the heading of "the backhand cannot be trusted" in the avoidance compounds. The shot gets worse. The avoidance gets more frequent. And after enough cycles, you have a backhand that genuinely can't handle pressure because it's barely been used in real situations. The first step to fixing your backhand has nothing to do with technique. It's a decision. You stop running around it. From your next session, every ball that comes to your backhand side gets hit with your backhand. Not most of them. All of them. Yes, you'll miss more for a while. That's fine. You're breaking a cycle that's been running for a long time, and the exit from that cycle is repetition. Real, pressure-tested repetition on the shot itself, not continued avoidance. Players who have strong backhands almost all went through a phase where they committed to hitting it even when it was uncomfortable. That discomfort is where the improvement actually lives. 2. You're making contact too close to your body. This is the technical root of most weak backhands, and once you feel it, you'll recognize it on every shot that's ever felt cramped and powerless. The backhand needs space. Specifically, it needs the ball to be out in front of your body and at a distance where your arm can actually extend through the swing. When contact happens too close, when the ball is right next to your hip or level with your shoulder instead of in front of it, your arm has nowhere to go. The swing gets compressed. The racket head can't accelerate because it runs out of room before it picks up speed. And what comes out is a push. No weight, no pace, no spin. Just a tentative floating ball that invites your opponent to step in and attack. The contact point on the backhand should feel almost like you're shaking hands with someone standing in front of you and slightly to your dominant side. Arm extended, comfortable distance, racket head moving freely through the ball. Not reaching, not cramped. Extended. The reason the ball keeps ending up too close is almost always a footwork problem. You're not getting to the right spot early enough to control the distance. When your feet are late, you arrive at the ball and deal with whatever distance it gives you, which is often too close. When your feet are early, you can adjust the distance yourself before you swing. Work on this specifically. In your next hitting session, focus on one thing: getting your feet to the backhand early enough that you can choose where the ball makes contact. Move your feet first, then swing. You'll feel the difference in the shot immediately. And if you want to take your tennis to the next level, check out the Tennis Master Pack. A pack that includes the Elite Player Guide with technical and tactical tips, the Become a Pro Guide where you'll learn how to become a pro tennis player, a full-week fitness routine to take your fitness to the next level, and a prevention routine to prevent injuries and enhance recovery. This pack already helped hundreds of tennis players. Get your clicking on the link in the description. Let's continue with the video. 3. Your non-dominant hand is doing nothing. This one applies whether you hit a one-handed backhand or a two-handed one, and it's the single change that unlocks the most power the fastest for most players. On a one-handed backhand, the non-dominant hand holds the throat of the racket during the preparation. It guides the racket back, controls the takeback, and keeps everything compact and ready. The moment you let go with that hand and drop it to your side, you've lost the control of the preparation. The takeback becomes vague. The racket goes somewhere different every time, and the swing starts from a slightly different position on every ball. Inconsistency is baked in before the swing even begins. But the bigger thing that hand does, on both one-handed and two-handed backhands, is drive the shoulder rotation. As you swing forward, the non-dominant hand should be pulling back, away from the ball, driving the torso to rotate and creating the whipping effect that generates real pace. Watch any player with a heavy one-handed backhand. Their non-dominant arm is flying back aggressively as they swing through. That's not a style choice. That's the engine of the shot. On a two-handed backhand, the non-dominant hand is literally the dominant force. It's the one that should be generating the power and guiding the direction, while the dominant hand mostly just holds on. If you feel like your two-handed backhand has no power, there's a very high chance you're pushing with the dominant hand instead of pulling and driving with the non-dominant one. This week, on every backhand, make your non-dominant hand the thing you think about, not the dominant one. Drive the rotation with it, guide the takeback with it, pull it back aggressively through the swing. The shot will feel different within 10 balls. 4. You prepare late because you don't respect the shot. This one is subtle, but it shows up on almost every backhand that feels rushed and unreliable. And it comes down to something psychological more than physical. Watch how quickly most players take the racket back when the ball comes to their forehand. The moment they read forehand, the shoulder turns, the racket goes back, the preparation is already happening before the ball has even crossed the net. Why? Because they trust the forehand. They want to be ready for it. The body responds to trust with preparation. Now watch what happens on the backhand. The ball comes that side and the preparation is slower. There's a slight hesitation. The racket goes back later, and by the time the swing starts, the ball is already on top of them and the whole motion is cramped and rushed. Not because the player is slow, because subconsciously they delayed the preparation. They didn't commit to being ready for the backhand the same way they committed to being ready for the forehand. The fix is to start the backhand preparation at the same point in the ball's flight that you start the forehand preparation. The moment you read the ball is going to your backhand side. Not when it bounces, not when it's halfway across the court. The moment you read it, the shoulder turns and the racket goes back. Force yourself to prepare earlier than feels natural. It will feel like you're preparing too early. You're not. You've just been preparing too late for so long that normal feels early. In this video, I show you how to stop your shots from being weak. I recommend you watch it after this one. 5. You aim for survival instead of a target. Last one. And this is the mindset problem that holds all 4 of the technical problems in place even after you fix them. Most players, when the ball comes to their backhand, have one thought: get it in. Don't miss. Just keep it going. And that thought produces exactly what you'd expect. A defensive, tentative, going-nowhere shot that lands somewhere in the middle of the court and invites your opponent to do whatever they want with the next ball. The backhand that's aimed at survival is always going to look weak. Not because the technique is wrong, because the intention behind it is wrong. A shot hit with the intention of getting it in goes in softly, without direction, without weight. A shot hit with the intention of landing deep to the cross-court corner goes there with conviction. And conviction is what creates pace and spin naturally, without you having to force it. Pick a zone on every backhand. Cross-court deep, down the line, body, short angle. Any zone that's based on what the situation actually calls for. Not the one that feels safest, the right one, and commit to it. The moment you start hitting your backhand to a place instead of just into the court, the shot changes. The weight behind it changes. Your opponent's relationship with your backhand changes. Because a weapon that goes somewhere specific is infinitely more dangerous than a ball that goes anywhere and nowhere at the same time. 5 reasons your backhand is weak. You've been avoiding it. So long the fear is bigger than the problem. You're making contact too close to your body because your feet are late. Your non-dominant hand is sitting there doing nothing when it should be running the whole shot. You prepare too late because you don't trust the shot enough to get ready for it. And you're aiming for survival instead of a target. Fix one this week, just one. Bring it to every backhand in your next session and don't stop thinking about it until it starts to feel automatic. Then come back for the next one. The backhand doesn't have to be your weakness. Most players just never gave it the same attention they gave everything else. Start giving it that attention now. Drop a comment telling me which of these 5 is the one you recognize most in your own backhand. I'm reading them. Subscribe for more of this. Blue Tennis Dude. See you in the next one.